I think where it starts is my catering, how I got involved. It became apparent that a lot of people had lost that relationship with food. 200 years ago, we had our cycle on how we lived and how we gathered, hunted, and all that was taken away from us from the settler government. The elders in Curve Lake here talk about gardens, that everybody had gardens. And now if you drive around, you don't see any. When the government, especially like residential schools and stuff, it's all this way to control and to eliminate really what we were doing. Even just, what was that, just 100 years ago, where we could not fish or hunt. That was now outlawed. They took us off lands that we had our farms on and produced food for us for the year. They took us off that land because white farmers wanted it. So it became apparent to me that my duty as a person that deals with food is to starting that discussion again about our foods. And by doing that, that's what the garden is for. Now we can invite the community out to the garden. Just being in a garden, it's a spiritual moment, really. You're looking at everything, you're taking in everything. Everything working together right there in front of your eyes. I mean, it's like this plant that you just planted a few weeks ago, and all of a sudden you're being able to eat something off of it.
I witnessed some of the gardens that were made around here in the 40s and 50s, 60s. They knew things like flowers, like marigolds would be good for tomatoes, and tomatoes would be good for marigolds, right? They work in companionship with each other.
You have the corn that grows tall, the bean grows around the corn, and then the squash is underneath with their big leaves, keeping everything moist, keeping the weeds away. A lot of plants, they all work together, or you can, manipulate them, I guess, to work together.
The way we develop medicines and plant growth is through experimenting. We believe that diabetes is caused by the introduction of the wrong kind of foods to Anishinaabe. We're not used to certain things. Like we're not used to flour, as an example. I think Anishinaabe should stick to beans and corn instead of going towards wheat and bread.
We are already so connected to the earth. We already have that knowledge that what we do to the earth, we do to ourselves. And so that knowledge that has been passed on to us in terms of gardening and those plants that we grew, to actually take from the earth and nourish ourselves and then sustain that earth by giving back to it. We always give something back, whether it's tobacco or whether it's some fertilizer or whatever we do. We're always giving back to the earth when we have to take something away.
We're losing those things. We're losing that activity. Our younger ones are not taking this up. But I think that with this new garden here, it's going to act as a bridge between the old way and the new way, sort of thing. This is a new way of doing it.
When they learn to care for the earth, they learn to care for themselves, they learn to care for each other, they learn to care for everything around them. That's a really important relationship that we need to nourish, and we need to foster that. I don't know, gardens are such an amazing part of Anishinaabe lifestyle and tradition. Even when you look at the language that we speak, so much of our language comes from the earth.
Gitigaa means spotted. Gitigaan, on the part of the word means the earth. So it's spotted earth is what it means. They used to burn areas for to open it up for different plants to grow. And they called those meadows Mishkode. We were a very kind of people that moved from spot to spot to hunt seasonally, fish seasonally. Well, one of the places they would go is north of here. So they would plant down here. We'd leave it to nature to look after them, go up there, and then we would come by and harvest as we paddled by. There's a lot of history on gardening. So it's really good to see a return to that kind of work.
It's kind of interesting the way things have started to turn around again, and that importance of the land is still being brought into the homes finally.
We can't depend on the government to look after us. We have to really look after ourselves. We're doing exactly the opposite of what the government policy towards Native people have always been, and that's for us to be, gone. But here we are, we're actually trying to make people stronger and make our community stronger.